Hey everyone, welcome back to Extra Rise English Podcast, the show that helps you level up your English one real conversation at a time. I am Mia.
And I am Leo. So glad you are here.
Okay, can I tell you something I did for almost 2 years?
Please.
I bought 3 notebooks, I downloaded 5 language learning apps, I made vocabulary flashcards, actual physical flashcards, the word on one side and the definition on the other. I watched videos about English pronunciation, I studied grammar charts, I memorized phrases from textbooks, and in all of that time, 2 years of studying, 2 years of preparation, I never once just sat down and talked. Not to a mirror, not to myself, not to anyone. I was getting ready to speak. I was not speaking.
What was the feeling? What was actually stopping you?
It was not laziness. It was this very specific feeling, like I was almost ready, like I needed just a little more grammar, one more level of vocabulary, one more week of listening practice, and then I would be ready. Then it would be safe to open my mouth, and that feeling never went away. The more I studied, the more I noticed what I did not know, and the more I noticed what I did not know, the less ready I felt. So I kept preparing instead of speaking, which is exactly what today is about.
What you just described, that feeling of almost ready, always almost ready, it has a name. I call it the readiness trap.
The readiness trap.
Right. Here's how it works. Traditional education, the way most of us in the Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, the way most of us were taught English in school, trains you to only speak when you are sure. You raise your hand when you know the answer. You wait to be called on. You speak when you are confident you are correct. And in many of our classrooms, being wrong in front of everyone carries real weight. It's not just embarrassing, it's shameful.
It's face culture. You do not put yourself in a position to fail publicly if you can help it.
Exactly. And that's not a flaw in us. That is the system we were trained in. The problem is what happens when we carry that instinct into speaking practice. In the classroom, you wait for certainty before you open your mouth. That's the rule. And so when you try to practice English on your own, the same rule applies. You wait. You wait until your grammar feels ready. You wait until your vocabulary feels big enough. You wait until you feel prepared. But here's what the readiness trap hides from you. The feeling of readiness doesn't come from studying more. It comes from doing.
Which means the studying, however much of it you do, will never actually get you there.
Think of it this way. Someone wants to learn to swim. They read every book about swimming. They study the technique. They watch professionals do it. They know exactly what their arms should do, where their head should turn, how to breathe. And then they stand at the edge of the pool and think, I need to study a little more before I get in. You cannot read your way into the water. You have to get in.
And most of us have been standing at the edge of the pool for years.
For some of us, many years. And what makes the trap so effective is that it feels like progress. You are studying, you are preparing, you feel productive. But the skill you actually need, the ability to produce language in real time, to hear yourself speak English and keep going, that skill only lives in the water. You cannot build it from the edge.
So the problem is not that we are lazy. The problem is that we're doing the wrong kind of work, preparing instead of practicing.
Consuming instead of producing. And the gap between those two things is where confidence actually lives. Confidence is not a prerequisite for speaking. It's a result of speaking. You don't get confident and then start. You start and then, over time, with enough reps, you get confident.
Wait, say that again.
Confidence is not a prerequisite. It's a result.
Okay, that changes something.
Do you have a specific moment, a time when you were standing at the edge of the pool?
I have a very specific one. My first year of university, there was a foreign exchange student in our department. She was from Germany. Her English was natural and warm and easy, the way you always imagine fluency sounds. And I remember watching her talk to other students in our class and thinking, I want to talk to her. I had things I wanted to say. I wanted to know where she had grown up, what she thought of the Philippines, whether she had tried sinigang. I had a whole conversation ready in my head, and I never said a word to her. Not one word, for an entire semester. And what I know now, what gets me, is that I had the sentence. It was right there. Hi, where are you from? I love your accent. That's it. One sentence, but I was waiting to be ready, and ready never came. She left at the end of the semester, and I never spoke to her.
One sentence would have been enough to start.
One sentence was enough. I wish I had known that one sentence was enough, which is exactly what we are going to give you today.
3 phrases. You can run this practice alone, in your bedroom, on your commute, in your kitchen. No partner, no app, no classroom. Just you and 5 minutes.
Phrase 1.
Right now I am... This is the present moment narration phrase. It's the simplest entry point into speaking practice that I know of. You say, right now I am, and then you finish it with whatever is actually happening at this exact moment. No pressure on grammar, no pressure on vocabulary. You're just describing what you see and what is true. Here's what it sounds like in practice. Morning before you leave the house. Right now I am making coffee. The kitchen is a little dark. I forgot to open the curtains. On your commute. Right now, I am on the bus. The traffic is bad. I can see a market from the window. Someone is selling something and I can't tell what it is yet. In the evening. Right now, I'm sitting on my bed. I am tired. I want to eat, but I don't want to stand up yet.
I love that these are completely ordinary. You don't need something interesting to have happened.
That's the point. The first objection your brain raises about speaking practice is always, I don't have anything to say. Right now, I am solves that. You're always somewhere, doing something, feeling something. That's enough to start.
And once that first sentence is out, something happens. The next one comes a little easier.
It does. The first sentence is always the hardest, and after that, the system is already running. Say that phrase out loud right now. Right now I am, and finish it with something true about your life at this exact moment.
Phrase 2.
What I noticed today was, this is your evening reflection starter. You use it at the end of the day, on the commute home, before you sleep, whenever things are winding down. What I noticed today was, and then you finish it with one thing you actually observed. Not a big thing, a small, real thing. What I noticed today was that my manager uses the phrase, let's circle back, in almost every meeting. I counted 3 times today.
What I noticed today was how quiet the office gets around 4 in the afternoon. Everyone seems to slow down at the same time. What I noticed today was that I felt nervous before I started speaking, but the nervousness went away once I actually started. It didn't go away before, it went away after.
That last one, did you catch what just happened? She was describing a feeling, and in the process of describing it, she said something true about how nervousness actually works.
Right. That's what this phrase does. When you practice observing your day in English, you're not just building vocabulary, you're training yourself to think in English, to use the language as the lens, not just the output. You stop consuming English and you start producing it. And one sentence is genuinely enough. You don't have to journal for 20 minutes. You don't have to write anything down.
One sentence. Say that phrase out loud right now. What I noticed today was, and finish it with something true about today.
Phrase 3.
I'm not sure how to say this, but... Now, I want to be honest about this one. Of the 3 phrases, this one is the most important, and it's also the hardest to explain, so let me think about why, because I want to get this right. Most traditional language learning teaches you that when you don't know the word, you stop. You look it up, you fill the gap, then you keep going. And the problem with that is that in real speech, you can't stop. There's no pause button. There's no dictionary in the middle of a sentence. And so if your instinct is to go silent every time you hit an unknown word, you train yourself to shut down the moment things get hard.
Which is exactly what happens. You're mid-sentence, you reach for a word, it's not there, and everything stops.
And I'm not sure how to say this, but is the bridge phrase. It does one specific thing. It keeps you speaking through the gap. It says, I don't have the exact word right now, and I'm going to finish this thought anyway, with whatever words I have, which is what fluent speakers actually do. They approximate, they paraphrase, they find a different way to get there. The phrase that tends to work isn't always the perfect one. It's the one that keeps moving.
So it's not about finding the right word, it's about refusing to go silent.
That's exactly it. When you say, I'm not sure how to say this, but your brain hears, we have already started, we have to finish now, and it finds a way. Here's what that sounds like in practice. You're trying to describe the feeling you get when you wake up and your dream was right there, and then it's gone. You don't know the word, lingering maybe, or foggy. You're not sure. Instead of going silent, you say, I'm not sure how to say this, but you know the feeling when you wake up and the dream was right there and then it disappears the moment you try to hold on to it? That. I had that this morning, and you're completely understood.
You didn't need the perfect word, you needed to keep moving.
And the person listening understood every word. Say that phrase out loud right now. I am not sure how to say this, but... and try to finish the thought anyway.
3 phrases. And this, what just happened in the last 5 minutes, this is exactly what Extra Rise brings you every single week. Not grammar rules, not vocabulary lists, real things that change what you do the next time you open your mouth. If you are not subscribed yet, subscribe right now. Not for us, for the next time you are mid-sentence and you do not know what to say. We want you to be ready for that moment.
Okay, let us put them to work.
3 scenarios. Leo models the full response. Say it out loud after each one. Ready?
Ready.
Scenario 1. Morning. You wake up. Your phone says 6:47 a.m. The fan is on. You can hear traffic outside. Use right now I am to start your day in English. Go.
Right now, I am lying in bed. It is 6:47 and I am not ready to get up yet. The fan is on and the room feels colder than it actually is. I can hear the street outside, traffic, and what sounds like someone selling something. I have maybe 10 more minutes before I actually have to move.
Say it out loud. Right now, I am lying in bed. It is 6:47 and I am not ready to get up yet.
Look at what that practice asked of you. It didn't ask for a special topic. It didn't ask for a complex sentence. It asked, what is true right now? And you answered. 3 sentences, 4 sentences, the length does not matter. What matters is that you started, and you started with one phrase.
And nothing in that response was remarkable. The fan, the traffic, the 10 extra minutes, ordinary life. That's the whole point. You do not need something interesting to have happened. Interesting is not the standard. Speaking is.
Scenario 2. You're in a self-talk session, practicing alone, and you're trying to describe the feeling you get before a big presentation. Not just nervousness, the specific kind where you have prepared well, but something in your body still doesn't believe it. Your first instinct might be to say, I feel nervous, and leave it there. Another way to go, the one that keeps you speaking, is the bridge phrase. Try it.
Go. I'm not sure how to say this, but you know when you've done everything you can do and your body still doesn't quite believe it? There's this tightness that's not exactly fear, it's more like waiting. Like the moment right before the alarm goes off when part of you already knows it's coming. That's what I feel before presentations. Prepared and still not sure.
Say it out loud. I am not sure how to say this, but you know when you've done everything you can do and your body still doesn't quite believe it? What you didn't do in that response, stop. You hit a feeling you couldn't name precisely, and you kept going. Not exactly fear, more like waiting. That's a clear description. The listener understood everything. You never needed the technical term. You needed to trust that your other words were enough. And they were.
One more. Scenario 3. End of the day, you're on your commute home or you're in your room and you're going to use what I noticed today was. Pick the most real thing from today, small or big, and say it.
What I noticed today was that I was more patient in a difficult conversation than I expected to be. Someone said something I disagreed with. My instinct was to push back immediately, but I waited. I listened to the whole thing first. And by the time they finished, the response I wanted to give had changed. I'm not sure if that's growth or just tiredness, but I noticed it.
Say it out loud. What I noticed today was, and finish it with something real.
I am not sure if that's growth or just tiredness. That's a thought you would have in your native language. You just had it in English. That's what this practice is. One observation, one real sentence. 5 minutes.
Go back and say all 3 responses out loud. Right now, I am lying in bed. I'm not sure how to say this, but what I noticed today was...
3 phrases, 5 minutes. You just did it.
Here's your one thing from today. You're not waiting because you're lazy or because you don't care. You're waiting because you were trained to wait until you're sure. And the readiness you're waiting for, it doesn't come from studying more. It comes from opening your mouth. Tonight, before you sleep, say one sentence with each of the 3 phrases. Right now, I am. What I noticed today was. I'm not sure if that's growth or just tiredness. 3 sentences, 5 minutes. That's your practice. That's enough.
And your assignment for this week, every morning before you check your phone, say one sentence out loud starting with, right now I am. Just one sentence. Say it out loud. Then go about your day. One sentence every morning for 7 days. Come to the comments and tell us what you said. Day 1 or day 7, we want to hear it.
And if you know someone who is still standing at the edge of the pool, who's been studying and preparing and getting ready to speak for a long time now, share this episode with them. Not for us, for them. Because they're not waiting because they can't do this. They're waiting because nobody told them that one sentence is enough.
And if you want more of this every single week, subscribe. We'll be here.
All right, thank you so much for being here on Extra Rise English Podcast. And remember,
because one serving of English is never enough.
See you in the next episode.